After reviving Java, Classic Legends has reincarnated another legendary brand called Yezdi and has launched 3 motorcycles under this brand name. While the Roadster and the Adventure belong to established segments and have a lot of rivals to face, the Scrambler is quite unique with not many direct competitors. However, our research data shows that you all have been curious to know how does it fare against the Honda CB350 RS, which does have some scrambler-like design ethos. In that case, we compare the Yezdi Scrambler and the Honda CB350 RS in terms of pricing, specifications and features. I'm Anuj, welcome to BikeWale. Before we get to functional details, let's talk aesthetics. The Yezdi is a quintessential old-school scrambler with a round headlamp, a front beak, a tiny tail rack, spoke wheels and a pair of pea-shooter exhaust. You can also soup it up by adding a headlamp guard and knuckle guards. Now the Honda CB350 RS looks relatively more modern with a sporty stance and a host of blacked out components with alloy wheels. As for color options, Yezdi offers more options with 6 paint schemes on its palette as opposed to the CB, which is available only in 2 colors. Do not let the retro styling of the Scrambler deceive you into thinking it is more basic in terms of features. In fact, the Honda and the Yezdi are quite neck and neck on the modernity front. The Yezdi comes equipped with a distinctive round LCD instrument cluster that shows all the essential data. Then there's a small handlebar mounted module accommodating USB and Type-C charging points. What's more, the dual channel ABS of the Yezdi can be operated in 3 different modes including road, off-road and rain. The CB350 RS meanwhile features an analog speedometer along with a tiny LCD which displays very little data at a time. It also misses out on a USB charger and modes for ABS. However, it compensates for that by offering an assist and slipper clutch and switchable traction control system. Although the Yezdi's engine is more modern and makes substantially more power on paper, our experience tells that the smoothness and refinement of the Honda are hard to match and pretty commendable. Talking about the power plant, the Scrambler is propelled by a more modern liquid-cooled and higher revving 334cc engine. It churns out 28.7 bhp of power and 28.2 Nm of peak torque. With a 6-speed gearbox, it also gets 1 cog extra. As for the CB350 RS, it is powered by a 348.36cc air-cooled engine that produces 20.78 bhp and 30 Nm and comes mated to a 5-speed gearbox. The hardware package of the Yezdi Scrambler is more inclined towards taking on rough terrain with 19 and 17-inch spoke wheels at the front and rear as opposed to the CB's road-biased alloy wheels of the same size. While spoke wheels make the Yezdi more reliable for off-roading, the CB has the advantage of tubeless tires that are easier to repair in the case of a puncture. Other cycle parts including telescopic forks, dual springs and disc brakes at both ends remain a commonality here. But there's a difference in chassis as the Yezdi is based on a dual cradle frame while the CB350 makes do with a half duplex cradle. If you are curious to know how these 2 packages compete against each other in the real world, wait for the comparison test review. Hopping on both bikes should be equally easy given their identical 800 mm of seat height. Similarly, both would be equally manageable at low speeds since the difference in their curb weight is just 3 kilos. Where the Yezdi has a big advantage over the CB350 RS is in terms of ground clearance. The Scrambler's underbelly sits 200 mm above the ground, which is 32 mm more than the CB. So it's clear which one will be able to tackle undulations in a better way. The difference in the prices of these bikes isn't drastic. The Yezdi Scrambler starts at Rs 2.05 lakh and goes up to Rs 2.11 lakh depending on the color options you choose. On the other hand, the Honda CB350 RS is pegged at Rs 2.02 lakh. Considering all these factors, if you want a more road-focused and sporty motorcycle with great reliability, the Honda CB350 RS is a no-brainer. However, you can buy one only if you have a Honda Big Wing dealership in your city, which are in limited numbers across India. As for the Yezdi Scrambler, it is more distinctive in terms of styling and it should be a better off-roader. However, the reliability of the Yezdi brand is yet to be proven. If you want to know which one is better out in the real world, well, stay tuned to BikeWale as we'll be back with a detailed comparison video review.